Hello, everyone, and welcome to Toku Portal Podcast. I'm Ryan. With me is
Decade. And today we're talking about Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger, Episode 3. So, basically picking up where we left off, Ui's going to upload the mech fight to her channel when Crayon teleports behind her. And then we get the opening. Pretty short, so I'm just going to keep moving.
yeah, nothing to say. We already talked about our feelings about it last week.
Yep. So, the three rangers are led to a cave by Tiramigo. Ko shrinks him using one of the power-ups so he can follow them. Which is why we've seen a couple cuts of Tiramigo being slightly shorter than them. So Asuna and Melto name their Kishiryu. Actually, Melto doesn't. Asuna names hers Ankirose, and then Melto just refers to his as a partner, but it doesn't like that and turns away.
Well, it didn't like the way he said it. So you're my partner, huh?
Yeah.
He sounded unimpressed when he said it, which is just how he talks. But even when Ko told him, hey, you shouldn't really try to talk down on them, even Melto was even more confused by but we created them, which doesn't help his case.
Yeah.
And I feel like this could have been explored a bit more this episode, but they instead chose to go into some much darker themes and leave this as more of a side story.
That is very true. So, at the house, Ui is kind of dazed, but she tries to snap out of it. And then she sees a Minosaur rampaging on her phone. Then, I guess coincidentally, remember she told them the Ryusoulgers arrive. They Ryusoul change and roll call. Then Ui shows up to record and cheer them on, which is nice. The Minosaur keeps telling them to look. Red does look into its eyes on its chest, and he's turned to stone. It's a Medusa monster.
It's just looking at it, it's clearly a Medusa monster.
Yeah.
So, if they don't know about that mythology, then I can excuse this, but otherwise it seemed pretty obvious to me not to fucking look.
Yeah. All I know is stuff about dinosaurs. So yeah, it's turned to stone. The others don't really know how to fight back. Then Riso Black uses the Mabushi Soul to blind her, and Green is here as well. Of course, Crayon shows up with some grunts. Black and Green handle the grunts pretty easily. And then, of course, Tonkcho shows up to end the fight. Which is kind of cheesy, but kind of nice. It's a nice break from the monsters just randomly getting away.
Right.
Which I've heard Vashi complain about multiple times.
And Tangjo, it definitely gives some Destra vibes in being this big stalwart soldier.
Yep, it's just a lot more involved.
Yeah, so he's clearly not that high ranking. He's a high ranking, he's probably a general, but he's not that high ranking if he's constantly coming out to the field like this. Because that's just the Sentai formula of the real threats just hide behind whatever. What's interesting is how defensive Creon got of this Minosaur. No, I am really, I really have high hopes for this one. And we know that, alright, he has high hopes for her because she can turn people to stone. How does that further their goal? We don't know what the Druidon's goal is, but it seems like maybe they just want to take out humanity and make them become, turn the Earth into their home. In which case, hey, turn all the humans to stone. That's a fast and effective way to take care of them.
Yeah, plus he or she probably knows that Ui is their friend, considering she was saved in the first episode. So it's a win-win.
Green
So
Green and
oh,
Black's
go ahead.
appearance is very reminiscent of their appearance in Psycho Battle, where they're the experienced soldiers who just know what they're doing, and I look forward to seeing more of their dynamic. Also, they actually are brothers.
Mm-hmm. So at the house, uh, Black frees Red with a power-up. Then he introduces himself and his little brother. It's Bamba and Toa. Toa knows how to stop the Minosaur, and Bamba readies his blade to kill Ui. Toa tells them that the Minosaur will soon be complete, so Ui's death will stop its growth.
No.
Yeah.
So
Welcome to Sentai, kids.
so Banba like tries pulling the whole one life versus the life of many argument, but that doesn't apply here. Ui's death will stop one Minosaur. It will not stop the Druidons from making more from all the other humans on Earth. Like, it won't solve the problem. And he tries like saying, I don't remember what his whereas but like something about like saving people. But my thought of that was, and how many people are you going to save after you kill them all? Like, if this is just your answer to dealing with the Minosaurs, you're gonna be a bigger threat than the Druidons.
Well, yeah, it's pretty messed up, but the way I saw it was like they can, and they've shown like in the first at the end of the first episode, they can kill the Druidons when they're like human sized, but
The Minosaurs.
they sorry, Minosaurs. um, but they don't have their Kishiryu, so
Which is,
that's when they resort to
which is
killing them the
something that
best.
I realized later on during the mech fight when they reacted to seeing them like, right, they don't have their Kishiryu. They were looking for them in Psycho Battle, and so that explains like why they would think to just stop the Minosaur before it gets big. With that being said, they're still wrong.
Yeah, pretty crazy that two of our Sentai members have probably killed people before. Um, so yeah, basically they kind of warn them that a complete Minosaur is too powerful to stop, and they do remember the Minosaur from the first episode, which is just a monster. Probably would have
Which,
killed a ton of people if it was in the city.
but
Uh,
yeah,
but then
which
Ko
is
says they will save both Ui and prevent anyone else
right.
from getting hurt.
Ko defeated that Minosaur using the Kishi Ryu, so it makes sense that like Banba and Toa wouldn't acknowledge that as an option because they don't have the Kishi Ryu.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see where Banba is coming from, like after I watched more of the episode and saw that. But with that being said, that's not an option
Yeah.
because again, it doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah, so Toa kind of just laughs, but they give up for now. But Ui overheard the whole conversation. She kind of just starts talking to her dad and apologizes to him under her breath. Then Asuna returns and asks him
So
where
I
Ui
thought
went.
that like Ui talking to her father and apologizing to him was kind of was just kind of her being like, "Oh man, that monster was born from me, and I'm causing all this trouble now." I no, I was wrong. It was actually way worse.
Yeah. um, so Asuna asks to Dad where she went. Then Red and Blue stall the Minosaur. Asuna finds Ui near a cliff. She basically says that she admires her dad and the Rangers for working hard for their goals, and she wants to be useful for once, so she's going to kill herself to stop the Minosaur. Asuna has to pull her away and hug her. She won't let her die because they are friends. Yeah.
Yeah, like suicide is actually like a very serious issue, and this scene does a great job of portraying both sides of it. Of like the person who feels they don't have anything to live for anyways, and the people that don't want to see them gone. Like, no, you're not killing yourself. You have more to offer than you think.
Yep. Unexpected, but pretty well
Like,
written and directed.
it was actually like pretty dark for Sentai.
Oh, yes.
I can, like, I see where Ui's coming from. Like, she probably feels like she's the one causing the trouble again. And she's probably experienced that kind of thing all her life, not being, well, being a little clumsy as we know her to be. Uh, that being said, it takes a lot to actually, like, be up and willing to kill yourself. So I feel like there's a more underlying darkness here. Like,
Oh,
we may have depression issues.
yeah, for sure. I mean, and they kind of get into that with when they're kind of explaining the Minosaur at the end of the episode. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, basically Ui collapses as more energy leaves her body, and then Asuna takes off. Of course, the brothers are nearby. The Minosaur continues to grow and turns everyone looking at it into stone. Even the people watching from their phones,
Yeah, like through a screen.
TV. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like this is working better than expected.
Yeah. So Red deploys Kishiryu and tries to fight back, but can't win. Pink calls Ankirose. Blue is hesitant to call his, so Asuna calls and names it Toriken.
So Blue Melto being hesitant to call his Kishiryu is a good moment because he's thinking he won't come even if I ask him. He's thinking I blew my partnership with him. And he's probably feeling like he probably doesn't deserve to be his partner, which is why I feel that this little like subplot could have been expanded a bit more on, because I'm just speculating based off of what we're shown here. And I feel like they could have done a lot more with this.
Yeah. So, yeah, they pretty much work together to cover the monster's evil eyes. And then they got tied to form Kishiryu 3 Knights and defeat the monster. It's a pretty mech. Not much else to say.
Like,
And-
when I first saw the mech, I was kind of like, is it just a Lego mech? But it actually like comes together really well.
Yeah, it's more like it has Lego attachments. But Ui wakes up at the house. The three are smiling at her, and she hugs her dad, tells him that she's home. It's a pretty sweet moment. Asuna figures that Ui was lonely and wanted someone to basically look at her. like the Minosaur did. But then Ko wonders why they were turned to stone. Then Naoto shows him a cringe-worthy clip from her channel that just freezes him in place, falls back on his chair.
Like, I know exactly the type, too. It's the kind of video where you're watching it, and all you're doing is sitting there watching it. You're not reacting, you're not thinking about what you're watching, you're just watching it, like, deadpan. Like, and that's all that's happening.
Yep,
Uh,
that was 100% cringe. Even though we don't actually see what happens.
Unless we are proven otherwise, I'm gonna choose to believe it's like the intro to her channel.
Maybe. So the brothers are determined to find their Kishiryu now. Episode end.
So yeah, touching on Ui's loneliness, like I feel like she actually has a lot of insecurities that are not normally like brought up, but were really hinted at in this episode. And we know from last episode that she hasn't had a lot of friends growing up, so like her entire YouTube channel itself could just be one big cry for attention.
Yeah, basically. And even that she knows is, obviously fake and probably doesn't get much views, so yeah, she just feels she's got like an inferiority complex going on. Which is sad, but that's kind of why we see the Ryusoulger supporting her, and also in the ending as well, they kind of cheer her up.
And it would explain why she latched onto them the way she did back in episode 1, because, like, she made a big discovery. It's like, hey, this could lead to something. And it did.
Recording the fights could get quite a lot of views.
Also, she made friends.
Yep. That too. But, yeah, another pretty solid episode. Any other thoughts?
So I do like that Black and Green are now going to look for their mechs now that they kind of have an idea of what's happening. Hey, the Kishiryu are out there somewhere, we just have to find them. So I'm wondering where this is going to go, though. Are they going to start looking at things from a different perspective now that the Kishiryu are in play? Or are they still going to stick to their own philosophies and ethnics first, and have to kind of like be eased into the way the rest of the team thinks to create more cooperation? Like, are they going to be the Go on Wings?
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that Ko is basically gonna have to coax them into changing their ways a bit. So that'll be fun to see. Because they're already badasses.
Yeah.
They just need to get their morals straight.
And I like what we're getting for the next episode preview. We're focusing on Towa, where we don't... This is like a different type of green than the normal like presets. He's not an aloof green, he's not a goofy green, he's like... I guess he's still like the childish green, kind of. Right?
Yeah, the closest thing I can kind of think of is green from Shinkenger, where he's kind of has his own ideas and clashes with the red. Except these two reds are totally different.
Mix that a little bit with green from Time Force, where he's kind of like the child of the group. I guess Green from Kyoryuger also fits that description.
Yep.
Just one moment. Uh, yeah, I like that the next episode we're getting is gonna focus on him and getting his mech. Uh, Tiger ants. Spoiler. He's I like I kind of like what they're doing with his character. So I'm just happy to see him getting his character episode.
Yeah, he's definitely fun to watch, even though he's kind of a jerk.
Final thoughts on the episode. Yeah, another solid episode. Actually, the best one so far. And if this is hinting at the kind of direction this show will be taking going forward, then I'm definitely interested in seeing where this goes.
Yeah, it's good action, but really good character writing and development. Especially since we're just in the third episode, so yeah, I'm looking forward to where they take this.
Like like the first two episodes were pretty lighthearted and such, but still had their like dark moments, like the mentors dying and uh, the like revelation of the Minosaurs and such. And here it like carries it forward with uh, tackling the topic of suicide. So it's taking the monster idea from X-Aid and combining it with the serious tone of Shinkenger. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to seeing where this goes. Uh, all right, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with Kamen Rider Zeo and Thursday for Power Rangers Beast Morphers. See you next time.
thanks for listening.